Hi there folks, and welcome to Kamikaze Behind the Scenes. Today we're going to tell you about the process of creating Kamikaze. Kamikaze is an animated sci-fi action drama for grown-ups. We've been working for a couple of years to get it pitched, and it's about the point where we're ready to release it to the world. So, yeah.
And you guys have been doing a great job helping us spread the word. Thank you so much, and keep doing it.
For those of you who don't know, Kamikaze is a show about a young free-running courier intent on escaping her city in this post-apocalyptic world. Now, the problem is that she's been thrown into a life-or-death game of corporate sabotage, and she might not ever escape. Now, so our listeners know our voices, why don't we start with you, Alan?
Hi there folks, I'm Alan. I'm a freelance artist and one of the co-creators of Kamikaze.
I'm Havana. I'm the pitch artist and graphic designer behind Kamikaze.
And I am Carrie. I am the other creator and artist behind Kamikaze. We know that you guys have been giving us a lot of really great questions, and we're going to try to answer as many as we can. So let's get started.
On to the questions.
Okay, so it looks like our first question is, are you making a pilot? And if so, do you have any advice for making a pilot? Carrie, do you want to answer this one?
Sure. At the moment, we are not making a pilot. Generally, shows don't start making pilots until they have a network interested. So our priority right now is getting Kamikaze in front of networks. We're very early in that process, but the response so far has been really positive. We do have a script in the works, and we're really, really excited about it. As for your other question, make sure you've got a solid story that introduces your characters in a really cool way. If it's an animated property, you need to have amazing art. These people look at art all day long, so you have to stand out. There's so much information that I could talk about, but right now we just don't have the time. We could do a little thing about this in the future. If you want more info on this topic, let us know, and we'll be happy to explain more.
So question number 2, do you have something like a website where we can learn more about the show and see more art?
Alan, you should really take this one.
We are in the midst of building our site. It's not done yet. Keep an eye out on Facebook, facebook.com/kamikazeanimated, where we will be releasing info about when that site's going to be up in the next couple of weeks. The site is going to be what people are asking for, which is a place to learn about the show, a place to learn more about the characters, and a place to see more of the art. Because we realize that Facebook is not everyone's thing, we are going to be releasing a blog at the same time, which is going to be through Tumblr.
The third question asks, when are you going to pitch Kamikaze?
I'll take that one. We're always pitching, especially now that the pitch document that we've been spending a considerable amount of time on is complete. We do have some people already looking at the pitch, but we are going to the Ottawa International Animation Festival in September, which is going to be a great opportunity for us to pitch. And there's going to be more conferences after that. So, bouncing off of that question, a question we get asked a lot is there a trailer that we can watch?
I guess I can take that one. No, though we are actively working on this. Our priority right now is mostly to publish the website and to find networks to pitch the show to.
This is a question for you, Havana, because I don't know how to answer it. When you have an idea for a show, how do you make it into a brand?
Honestly, the biggest thing I learned through this entire process is that your pitch document needs to get across exactly what you're trying to do, even if that person is skimming right through it. So I learned that, you really got to start with the story and target audience. These two things should dictate everything else. It should dictate the style, the art, the writing, design, absolutely everything. So, for example, Kamikaze is an animated sci-fi drama geared towards adults. So, last April, we actually did finish the lineup of character art. We had them all.
I remember this.
We had everything inked, designed, colored. We were ready to launch. And then we got feedback that the art was very light and PG, which was totally not what we were trying to do.
To be honest, heartbreaking.
It was really heartbreaking.
So much to our chagrin, we scrapped the artwork and had to search for a new style. That took a long time.
It took so long.
But honestly, the new style, it conveys the genre a lot more clearer. I think the style reflects the story a lot better. As far as design, the story is set in the post-apocalyptic world. So for the pitch document, I played with grungy, urban textures like cracked concrete to convey, you know, what life is like in this setting.
I will say that because of keeping to the whole sci-fi thing, another thing that Havana did was she kept the artwork clean, which it brings in that kind of sci-fi on this Mac Apple aspect, which allowed us to make it believable. You know, things will be grungy and dirty, but it's still techie.
Well, to interject with that, you know, some parts of this world are very kind of down and dirty and grungy, while other parts are very polished and clean. So in some way you have sort of this Mos Eisley Cantina versus, you know, Stanley Kubrick 2001
level of
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the balance between those two looks wasn't just because it looked good. It's because it really did.
It served the story, yeah. It definitely served the story, and that's really the entire purpose.
Yeah. And so those are just two examples where the story and target audience must dictate the brand completely. So finally, last question. Do you guys have any resources and or advice that you could give to someone looking to make their own TV show or movie?
Carrie, this one.
Yeah, Carrie.
Okay. I would say first you need to set your priorities. You need to know who your target audience is. You need to know the networks that you want to go to, know the length of your show or movie, and you need to know its genre. I will say that story is the most important thing. Even if you've got like a really cool idea, that's not going to matter if you don't have a story, because it's not going to work. Also, don't be afraid of showing your work to others for critique. Get feedback. Critique is your best tool. If somebody you know intimidates you, if there's someone that you're thinking to yourself, oh, I can't show it to them because, you know...
It's a scary thing.
It is a really scary thing. If you're just standing there thinking to yourself, I can't show this to somebody because they're going to take my idea or they're going to rip it to shreds, you need to share it to them, because you're going to get more to think about and more to improve upon from that ripping apart than any good job you'll ever receive.
As an example of this, Kamikaze actually, way back when, was it 2005?
Oh, God.
I think it was 2005 when we initially got the idea. It was a comedy. It was supposed to be a superhero parody. And the more feedback we got, the more we pinged it off of people, which is a scary thing to do. The more we realized that there was no central conflict to it, and it was just sort of this, I guess, mindless automaton of an idea.
It was kind of like Bugs Bunny, but with superheroes. And while that's an interesting idea, it didn't work.
Yeah, so feedback is a really great thing when it comes to that.
So after that, I would say, again, solid story, solid characters, and you really need to have an interesting concept. I am going to say for references, I would suggest Story by Robert Mckee, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder, though once you read it, throw it out the window. There's a problem with people using it too much as a crutch, and I don't want anybody reading it and thinking, oh, the formula's here, that's all I have to do. Formula is nice, but it's visible, and people can see it, and it's really hard to hide. So read it, understand it, learn how to walk, and then throw it away.
Think of Save the Cat as sort of like a skeleton that it gives you the bones, and things like Story by Robert Mckee are going to give you the muscle and nervous system that are actually going to make it be able to get up and walk on its own.
Yeah.
A very nice metaphor.
The other resource I would suggest checking out is a podcast called Paper Wings Podcast, and that's with Chris Oatley and Laura Innes.
We love you guys.
Oh, we love you guys so much. Chris Oatley is a artist for, I don't think he's an animator, he's an artist for Disney. And Laura Innes is a comic book artist for something called The Dreamer. It's a really, really cool comic and historical thing. But anyway, we love you guys. And the last thing I'm going to tell you as far as references goes is TV tropes. And this is a black hole. You will spend more time there. Days on end just reading and reading and reading. It is worse than Wikipedia. But the cool thing is that TV tropes allows you to figure out your genre. If you know your genre, then that means that you can surprise people. Make them think that they know what's coming and then totally blindside them. This is really something that I could talk about forever, but we unfortunately have to wrap it up. If you are interested in learning more, I think we would all love to tell you more.
Definitely.
Yeah. We could talk about this forever. We're all very, very deeply in love with storytelling, and we would love to share that with you. Thanks for listening to this segment. This went way longer than we thought it would. We really hope you got something out of it. I mean, we still didn't manage to get to everyone's questions. Right now, we're still focused on getting Kamikaze in front of networks, so that's our big priority.
So if you like Batman the Animated Series or Gargoyles and want to see something like that for older audiences on TV, you can help.
The thing is that networks do pay attention to how much interest there already is in something before they pick it up.
So please share Kamikaze's page, its content, to people who you think would be into it. Let people know about Kamikaze so we can get a network interested and get Kamikaze into production. Where can I find you on the internet, Havana?
Hey, you can find me on the internet at Havana Tweets on Twitter.
You can find me, Alan, at That Tupper Kid.
And you can find me at Mermaid Shells on Twitter.
And you can find out more about Kamikaze in general at facebook.com/kamikazeanime. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.